with delicious soft centres. Say more with Cadbury Roses.
There's no right way to be a woman. I cut my own path and I love what I do. It's tough work, so feeling comfortable matters. That's why I choose You by Kotex Ultra Thins. They don't just keep me protected, they're now comfier than ever.
Good afternoon, boys, and a special welcome to all of our guests today who are here to commemorate Anzac Day with us. Boys, it goes without saying that this is probably our most significant assembly this year, and with that means that your behaviour and your respect needs to be top-notch. That is why we're going to ask that today there is to be no clapping during this assembly. This is not a celebration of war, it's a commemoration of those boys who walked these halls and went from the uttermost ends of the earth and fought and died so that we may be free. So again, no clapping, please. Secondly, to reiterate what Mr. Archer spoke about in Assembly yesterday.
Tēnā koutou katoa e mihi atu nei.
Kia koutou. Good
Good
afternoon, school. Please join me in karakia.
Wakataka te hau ki te uru, wakataka te hau. Ina kina ki uta, kia Thank you. Please be seated.
Welcome
To a very special
assembly. This assembly or service has happened at our schools every year since 1916, just months after the end of the Gallipoli campaign in World War I. Welcome to our guest speaker, old boy, retired Colonel Tony Hill. Mr. Graham Chard, President of the New Plymouth and District's Return Services Association, who invited guests, and especially those representing local service organisations and associations. And welcome to our other friends of the school. It is humbling to have all of you here this afternoon. Thank you, Thomas, for playing Amazing Grace on the bagpipes. What an incredible way to start this afternoon's service. Thank you, Thomas. I would now like to invite Head Boarder Will Potts to introduce our guest speaker.
Will. Good afternoon, school. It is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, retired Colonel Tony Hill. Mr. Hill attended New Plymouth Boys High School from 1977 until 1981. After finishing the 7th form, he enlisted, completing officer training and then serving for over 30 years in the regular force. Royal New Zealand Engineers, and most significantly was awarded an MBE and became a member of the Order of the British Empire for his actions in Cambodia whilst attached to the United Nations Cambodian Mine Action Centre. Mr. Hill later served with the United Nations.
The underlying theme that I thought was really, really good when I read a bit more and got a bit more up to date with what the school's been up to is be the example. So as you know, the current environment that we're in, what is the significance of Anzac Day? This is a day when New Zealand and Australia remember the events at Gallipoli, the fallen, those at home that succumb to illness or disease or other issues when they came back from World War I, and it's a day for us to remember. But times are changing. The environment's changing. When I was younger, we had the odd World War I veteran around. We had plenty of World War II veterans around, and I do remember watching people getting in and out of helicopters in Vietnam on the TV. A lot of them have gone now. We're lucky to have a World War II veteran with us. I now live in Cambridge. He's 104 years old. Still sprightly and still really likes a good single malt whiskey. He's a great guy. They're very, very rare. We've now got our younger veterans coming through. Some of you may actually have brothers, cousins, sisters, aunties who have been to East Timor, Afghanistan, Iraq. You may actually have some of them now who are serving or who are looking to enlist now and to serve. The bottom line there is we've got lots of veterans out there. You don't know who they are. You see us on Anzac Day or Armistice Day, we put our medals up. For us, it's almost like a mihi, because another soldier, sailor or aviator will look at that and say, I can see exactly where they've been. If I look at Admiral Parr's medals, I can see exactly where he's been. I can see what he's done, all right? That's what these bits of coloured ribbon and shiny metal represent. But we're around. The veterans are there, they still need help. A lot of the issues we're having these days with the veterans though, a lot of it's around mental health. And I just had very sad news. Another friend I served with didn't get through their battle with depression. This is what's ongoing. People don't know about this. There are people who are injured. Guys who are suffering. We know, we've heard about the people that we've lost in Afghanistan. We get people that are lost in training accidents. In the military, Anzac Day, Gallipoli, all that sort of stuff, it's nothing at all like the movies. When I was here many years ago, I had a chance to speak again. I was still serving at the time. And one of the statistics we had was, if you look at the guys each side of you, you're the only one out of that 3 that came home. And it really was quite sobering. We're now in a time we have a changing security landscape. Things have changed. I don't need an aircraft carrier to actually project force. I can do it with drones. And if you see what's happening on TV in the Ukraine, how warfare is changing, it's not like it used to be. So what does that mean for us? It means we should really value what we've got here in New Zealand. And friends of mine say, travel makes a better New Zealander, and it really does. Will spoke about some of the adventures I had whilst serving, and yes, it was a life of paid adventure, and yes, I would recommend anyone here who has no idea what they want to do when they leave high school, and they're not too sure if they want to go to university yet or go into a trade, consider joining the military. It's great. I know I'm not going to be liked for this, but I thought it was the best thing I ever did. I got rifles, I got machine guns, I got bayonets, I got to blow things up, I got to go underwater and blow things up, I got to go overseas and do all exciting stuff, meet interesting people, go to places that didn't even exist earlier on, places and things that I never would have thought of growing up in Waikato when I was here as a schoolboy. I really enjoyed my time here at New Plymouth Boys High School. It was fantastic. We had great masters, we had great team spirit. We had our comradeship of sticking together as a team. I'm actually still in touch with guys I went to school with. And boy, can we tell lies when we get together and have a couple of drinks. I didn't realise how good we were or how smart we were over 40 years ago until we get together and start telling lies. But it's great. That comradeship, it just goes the whole way through. In my day, we had Cadet Week, and we'd go down to Linton, and they used to blow things up, and they used to let us shoot the guns and do all this sort of stuff. And I could tell you there's nothing more exciting or stress relieving than you get a chance to blow something up or to actually shoot back at someone that's been trying to shoot you. It's quite cathartic. Throughout all of that though, we have this set of values: courage, commitment, comradeship, integrity, which is a super big deal, and kindness. So you might be, I look around, some of the boys here at the moment, you're only little, don't worry. Charles Upham wasn't big, nor was Willie Apiata. You might see on TV and think Willie's really, really big. He's not that tall, but he's got the heart of a lion, just like Charles Upham. All right? It's not your size that matters. It's what you do with it later on, and your internal fortitude. Brings me on to something called resilience. This was something that we learnt when I was at high school. It was great. The Japanese have a proverb: fall down 7 times, stand up 8. That's all you need to do. And if you do fail, so what? Pick yourself up, work out why you failed, carry on. You'll surprise yourself. When I look out here at all of you, I just see huge potential for good, for greatness. All right? Don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't. All right? We also talk about remembrance. We've got our crosses on the lawn out there for the 275 old boys that passed away. We remember Corporal Hall. We've got his medal in the headmaster's office. It's fantastic. And these are the things that bind us when we leave school. We go out into the wider community and become a great part of that community, because you have that ability. I'm all about realising potential. You've got it. Believe in yourself. Might be hard. I remember being laughed at when I had my first static line parachute course with the Taranaki Skydiving Club when I was in the 6th form. People thought I was mental, the term we used to use in those days, not politically correct. I caught up with some of them in the weekend from 45 years ago. Had my first free fall at the age of 17 when I was in the 7th form. Be adventurous, take risks, enjoy yourselves. And I keep saying, and people laugh, what could possibly go wrong? There's a lot that could go wrong. As long as you consider the risks and do it, have fun. What does success look like? People often ask me that. What does success look like? I said, look in the mirror. It's you. Depending on your choices. Be that successful person. You can do it. All right. Success is different for other people. It's just like courage. Courage isn't the big guy standing up, like you see on the movies, tough as leather, going to, follow me, chaps, and all that. Courage is actually someone who knows or is terrified of what they have to do. They know the risks, yet they go ahead and do it anyway. That's got nothing to do with physical size, but more with internal fortitude. So, all of this comes together, and that wonderful phrase I've seen here is, be the example. You can be the example with what you do. You can be the example in how you react to a situation. You can be the example of how you help in the community, and it might be quietly, without any fanfare. But I have great faith. Looking out here, I have absolutely great faith, and it gives me a great sense of confidence in what we've got for New Zealand, the Taranaki, and a whole lot of us. So thank you very much for letting me come along and rant for a few minutes. It's been absolutely marvellous, and I'm looking forward to laying a wreath to our fallen old boys. Reid, thank you.
Firstly, I want to thank our guest speaker, retired Colonel Tony Hill, for his words. I will now read a passage from Mr. Jack West's book, Lest We Forget, about Sergeant Trevor Gray, my great-great-uncle. Trevor Gray was born in Wanganui on the 13th of September, 1914. He attended 2 different primary schools before attending New Plymouth Boys High School from 1928 to 1930. While at Boys High, he took a general course and prior to the war, entered for the Air Force Studies examination. Trevor had a passion for athletics and gymnastics. During the 1930s, he was a part of the New Plymouth Athletics Association Club for 5 years, specialising in sprinting and field events. He was also a member of the YMCA Gymnastics Club display team for 4 years. Trevor Gray was employed by the Kingsway Men's Outfitters in New Plymouth. He also served in the Territorial Army for almost a year. On the 20th of October 1939, he applied for training in the Royal New Zealand Air Force Aircrew Division and eventually enlisted on the 23rd of November 1940 at Levin's Initial Training Wing. He was awarded his flying badge on the 24th of March 1941 and promoted to sergeant 2 months later. Trevor Gray departed from New Zealand on the 26th of May 1941, reaching Bournemouth, England on the 3rd of July. A little more than 2 months later, he completed his training on a Wellington bomber aircraft. On the 27th of September 1941, Sergeant Gray received his operational posting to the 75th New Zealand Squadron based at Foutwell, Norfolk. As the second pilot of a Wellington, Sergeant Gray carried out 6 operational missions against targets in Europe, including Nuremberg, Dusseldorf, and Kiel in Germany, and Cherbourg in France. Sergeant Gray was a member of the crew of a Wellington bomber number X9976, which took off to attack a target in Germany on the night of the 6th of November 1941. Sadly, the aircraft failed to return to base and all members of the crew were classified as missing. An unofficial report received by the school stated that several returning aircrafts that night from the raid on Berlin were widely scattered by a severe electrical storm. Sergeant Gray's aircraft crash-landed in marshy land in Holland. The force of the impact meant that the plane penetrated deeply into the ground, exploding immediately. No bodies were recovered from the crash, nor was it possible to attempt excavation. On the 12th of January 1953, the Air Department advised that the Dutch authorities had decided to salvage the aircraft. The bodies of 6 airmen had been recovered and buried in the Canadian War Cemetery in Holland. Sergeant Trevor Headley Gray is at rest with his companions. Aged just 27, he was survived by his widow and a small daughter. His flying hours as a pilot totaled 135. This citation was one of the many unfortunate stories from the late Mr. Jack West's book, Lest We Forget, which is a tribute to the 227 old boys who fought and died while serving their country in World War II. Thank you for listening, school. Mr. Archer.
Well done. Thank you, Xavier. Once again, and on behalf of the school, I'd like to thank all of our guests for continuing to honour this very special day in our history and this very special day for our school. To conclude our Anzac service, I would like to invite the President of the New Plymouth and Districts Return Services Association, Mr. Graham Chard, to recite the commemoration to the fallen, to then be followed by the last post to be played by Year 11 student James Penn. School and honoured guests, as a mark of respect, please can you stand if you're able. Please stand, school. Mr. Chard.
E kore rātou e kou mātua tia. Pēnei i a tātou, kua mātui nei. E kore hoke rātou e ngoi koe, aha koa pia, i ngā ahuatanga o te wā. I te heke ngā tū o te rā, tai noa ki ta aranga mai e te ata. Ka mau mahara tonu tātou, kia rātou. Ka mau mahara tonu tātou, kia rātou. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years